welcome back to Yoga with Marcy. Today's class is the third class in a series called Expand, where we're working with the fifth universal principle of alignment, organic extension. There it is. And the theme of today's class is moving with courage towards our edges, or exploring our edges with courage. And what does that even mean? What is an edge? Come find out. We're going to do it. We're going to do it in the body, and I will guide you. All right. I'm glad you're here. Start to settle. Yeah. And whatever you needed to do to get here today, which sometimes can feel already like you've been Arjuna on the battlefield. So, letting yourself settle. Letting the energy kind of sink into whatever you're sitting on, letting that downward flow occur. Coming into the space of the body, into awareness of the breath. I hear the tiptoeing of another creature. Come on in. We got you set up. Okay. Great. Welcome. So we're just sort of in the business of settling right now, so you can just take your time. And this is our third class in the series Expand, where we're working very specifically, very mindfully with organic extension, which is the fifth universal principle of alignment in Anusara Yoga. That's a lot of words. We're going to feel it in the body. Yes. And in today's class, I want to offer as a theme the courage to explore our edges. And if you read my newsletter, you may have written some of my thoughts on that. Those are just some of my thoughts. I don't even know if I'll have the same thoughts today. New thoughts will come. You'll have your own. And of course, we want to get out of thoughts. So let that go for a moment and just bringing awareness into breath again. And I wanted to open our practice with a box pranayama practice. So first, we just bring awareness to how breath is flowing without trying to change it in any way. And then, simply by the nature of bringing awareness to breath is that it does begin to change. And you may start to notice it elongate or smooth out. And if you do happen to notice that, and if that does happen to your breath, that's a perfect precursor to doing pranayama. We call that the yogic breath. So the offering in pranayama, and always the offering is simply that, an offering. And so one of your courageous edges may be to say, no, thank you. And if that's the case, wonderful. And if your courageous edge is, I don't know about this feels very foreign to me, I'm going to give it a try, wonderful. And if you're somewhere in between, Wonderful. It's all wonderful. Why don't we begin with inhaling on the count of 4, holding the breath at the top of the inhalation for a count of 4, followed by an exhalation on the count of 4, and holding the breath on the exhalation for a count of 4 before starting again. And I want to invite you to have hands, palms facing down on legs, and to bring a little tap into index and middle finger on one of your hands, whichever one feels right, just almost like a heart pulsation. And then bringing awareness back to that breath and seeing if you can find your way back to your yogic breath. We'll work this together, and I will guide you twice and then unleash you to guide yourself. And if the count of 4 isn't feeling right to you, you can shift that in any way, make it longer, make it shorter. Sometimes the exhalation, you'll notice, begins to just get longer and you want to go with that. Please do. All right, so everybody, let's all exhale together. Take all the breath out, and then we're going to inhale to 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Keep it going. On your next inhale, let that go. See if you can let that go completely. Take whatever time you need. And just come back to your natural breath. And if your eyes are closed, you can keep them closed if you like, or open, and we'll bring our hands together in front of the heart. Create a little heat. Make a sound if you'd like on an exhalation. Because if you're here, you already have all the courage you need. So pause that, feel the one hand touching the other. We're all engaged in this same process of unfolding that brings back the flowers of the lilac bush every year, right? We are all just as the lilac bush in this process. Let's join our voices for the sound of one Om. Exhale fully. Full inhalation. Feel free to move the hands any way you want, and then we'll take them out to the side without knocking out our neighbor or encroaching. We're going to encroach a little, and that might be a courageous edge. Yes, tickling your neighbor's ear, that seems like it might be fun for someone. Check in, and it might not. All right, let's do a little, just a little warm up all the way down here. Through fingers. And notice if that feels good. take time so that for me this feels amazing, and I tend to carry a lot of tension in my forearms, so for me this is like, yeah. And what's it like for you? Maybe it's not like that for you. Yeah, feel free to start exploring space with the arms. Taking them up. Maybe doing some kitty paws. You know what I'm talking about? Kitty paws. You've all seen kitties do this, right? Like when they get so happy and their purr motor gets so loud and they're just like, and they're in the zone. They're in that zone. We want to be in the zone, don't we? I'm going to get into that zone. Okay, good. And then bring it on down. Oh, any way you want, express with the hands. If there's any other kind of movement or shape that you want to make there. And then feeling your own ground, feeling your own rootedness, just let the upper body move as seaweed, like the water was moving you. So even practicing yoga, we can start to move in ways that are very patterned, right? Because we're doing these familiar shapes. So sometimes it's nice to just begin by letting go of all the shapes and all the forms. Yeah, I like those sounds. And just letting something happen. And then find your way back to center. I'm going to invite something different. Usually when I invite a shoulder roll, people go right into like, whoa, cool, let's roll the shoulders. So that is a bit of a patterned response. So I'm going to invite a much smaller movement at the shoulder, a much smaller circle. And then I want you to just notice what happens. So a small circle, like you're creating a little clarity on a foggy mirror. Just a little, and then let that go. And notice what happens. Anything? Anything? Bueller? Okay, other side. For me, moving more subtly like that creates a whole different level of release. So we'll try the other side. And you might even have to take it smaller, like almost even imagining it. And then let it go. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's like, thank God, right? The tension that builds up by just being in life. Like, we don't need to search much to be pushed to our edges right now, being in the world that we're living in. Let's reach around with hands and interlace fingers. And take a moment to find breath. Feel your ground. Find some length in the sides of the body and let the shoulder blades float up, following that lengthening up towards ears as the elbows move towards one another on the back, and the heart gently lifts towards the chin. And courage lives in the heart space. The root of courage is cœur. That's the French version, but it comes from Latin. Letting something go here, something that's ready to lift off, some kind of bandagey carcass cover over the heart that's ready to just soften even a micro dose. And then exhale to release that. Yeah, good. Feel the release. And then the invitation is to come to fingers and walk yourself mindfully forward towards a forward seated fold. Tented fingers. Yes, moving your fingers towards Ekis. And staying on tented fingers, see if you can bring some awareness into the draw of the sits bones to stay rooted and the way that opens space at the back of the sacrum. Like I just got that hit, and again, it was another yum moment. And there's nowhere to get here, right? There's no perfect way to look in this shape. So you just do you, with the invitation to be exploring, well, what's the edge here for me? Is the edge backing off a little bit to explore, what might be just before that place where I tend to always move to? Is the edge going just a little bit further than where I usually go? Just a tiny, tiny bit to see what's there? It's very customary that when we're at one of our edges, there's a certain level of, this feels uncomfortable to me, it feels foreign. All right, let's walk to hands and knees. Tabletop. And Nina, as soon as you need a little rescue with the cat, I'm here for you. You're not alone.
No.
I got you. Because, he can be a little something. So let's take our hands a little wider than shoulder width apart. And the first invitation is just to notice that you have ground in hands and knees. Yeah. And begin to let your body just explore space with those places that have some rooting. Whatever it is. And see if you can do it without thinking it. So for most of us, that's a big growth edge, a big courageous edge, is to actually just let the body know as opposed to the head. Yeah. Trusting the body's wisdom. And then maybe you want to start bringing that into some version of cat and cow with some movement in the spine. Yeah. You may be noticing during these times we're living in that the usual practices are not enough to help you feel stable. I find that all the time in my life anyway. I'm always like, ah! So what's the need, right? We're at an edge. So what do I need to discover here at this edge, and what do I need to offer myself here at this uncomfortable edge? Great. All right, everybody come to center, and find your hands again, and find your breath nice and wide in the fingers. Ilya, you can take those hands a little wider. Yeah, give a little space to the shoulders. Let's everybody take right toes back. I'm about to kick my blocks. That's no good. And walk the toes towards the right. Stay grounded and find the midline of the body as your left ear starts to turn towards the left. What if your ear was curious about your foot? And feeling that opening all along the right side body, pressing into hands equally, staying in the breath. Does that feel good? Yeah, okay, good. Inhale that out. Yoga should feel good. And sometimes we come to an edge and it's a little uncomfortable too. So inhale, taking the left toes back. Walk the toes towards the right. Finding the midline of the body, the right ear begins to get curious about the toes. Pressing equally into both hands and staying steady in the breath. Yeah, there it is. Good. Inhale your way back. Nice. And if you need to sit back for a second to take everything out of the hands and just shake those out a little. We're going to be doing taking a lot of weight into hands today, so I want you to take care of yourself. All right? This is a nice thing to do, and we can come back to this again and again, and just drawing the skin down from this space here, which is like the tunnel. You get carpal tunnel here, but there's a lot of nerve endings and stuff that runs through here. So when we're spending a lot of time on our hands, if we're compressing this area, that can create some problems. So we're just gonna, know that this is here for you as a support throughout our practice today, anytime. Okay, let's come back and bring yourself into a downward facing dog. Nice and wide again in the fingers. The hands are a little wider than shoulder width apart. Index fingers parallel. Put a little bend in the knee. Feel free to walk out your dog. See if you can find a little grip in the finger pads. Little grip in the finger pads, isometrically drawing back towards the center of the palm. And on your next inhalation, taking shoulders above wrists. So we're coming a little bit out of the dog. We're going to floss the heart space. So as you inhale, the heart space melts. As you exhale, it lifts to sky. And just do that a couple of times with the breath. And then find your way back to downward facing dog. And feeling the energy line move from hand up into the shoulders, widening the collarbone, softening the heart. Take the heels towards the right, pressing equally through both hands. Finding length again in the side body. Steady in the breath. That gripping in the finger pads, like you're trying to grip the mat. And then inhale, take the heels towards the left. Hips towards sky. Find length in that side body. Steady in the hands, steady in the breath. Nice. Inhale to center. Look between the hands. Walk your feet forward. A little softness in the knees. Let the head go. Make a sound. Shake something right out through the crown of the head. Beautiful. Yeah, and on fingertips, walking fingertips towards the left. So we're really doing a little stretching of the side body at the start of our practice today. Feeling an engagement between the ankles, so the ankles drawing towards the midline of the body. And if there's another sound that's coming from the rib cage, let it out. We store a lot between our ribs when our breath gets compressed. Inhale, walking fingers towards the left, drawing the left hip crease back. So opening up the space, the intercostal space, is a gift and can sometimes take us right courageously towards an edge of experience that we don't get to have when our breath is locked down. And then inhaling your way back to center. Yes, let's take the hands down, keeping a bend in the knees here, palms facing down, a little more than shoulder width apart. And I want to bring your awareness again into those finger pads and feel that draw of finger pads. Deep bend in the knees if you need it to get your hands down. Yeah, good. And then isometrically drawing the forearms towards one another. The upper arms rotate out towards the outer shoulders. Feel the widening of the collarbones. And now press into the hands and feel the back body get light and lift towards the sky. Exhale to release that. Deep bend in the knees, reach up. Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to cactus. Steady breath. Until you start to feel a little heat in the thighs. Anybody already there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Pressing in, come on up. As you press through the feet, reach through the fingertips, get long, find your expansion. Find your organic extension here. Heart lifting gently. And exhaling, hands to heart. Hey, we're all standing now. Welcome to standing. It's a whole new experience, a whole new world. All right, grab your 2 blocks and a strap. And we'll bring those to the top of our mats. Great. Just Just looking at you fills my eyes with so much pleasure.
Ocean colors.
I know. Every time I look over there, I'm just like, I just want to hang out. You know what I mean? All right. Find your feet. We'll leave the strap for now. We'll come back to it in a second. So finding your breath and just remembering that if you're here right now, it's because you already have all the courage that you need. Having the courage to show up day in and day out, come to a yoga practice. You already have it. All right, feeling feet, inhale, hands up. Press through feet, reach. Heart lifts, exhale, hands to heart. Let's do 2 more of those. Here we go, inhale it up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more, inhale it up. And this time as we exhale, put a bend in the knees, right down through the front, center line, hands to blocks. Nice and wide in the fingers. Good. Let the head be lower than the hips. Ignore the arms for just a second. Draw ankles towards one another and let go of the head with a sound. Shake something out. Good. Inhale the heart space forward. Feel the length in the sides of the body. Press through the feet. And now, with your hands on the blocks, begin to press into the blocks. And as you press into the blocks with the hands, just notice how weight shifts out of the legs. I want you to see if you can feel yourself like you were a balloon being filled with helium from the underbody, lifting like from the front body into the back body, lifting it up towards the sky. You feel that? It can be subtle. Yeah, good. And then inhale to release. Put a bend in the knees. Utkatasana. Let's get a little burn going again in the legs. We've all got a Bhaya Mudra going on in our hands, which is no fear. It's the courage hands, right? And if it feels good, you could even stick your tongue out with a little lion's breath. Let's do 2 more of those. 1 more. Send it wherever it needs to go. Press into the feet, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. We were going to do a partner thing, but we got a little late start, so I'm gonna ixnay that from the program today. Sorry. All right. Coming to the top of your mats with your blocks. Oh no, actually, we got to use the strap. So let's take the strap for a second. We're gonna use our PhD in strap using. This is one of those things, right? We have high credentials in making it work. So it goes through the 2 and then back through the 1. And then we're going to take it until we make a loop that's about the width of our shoulders if we put it above the upper arms.
I failed my dissertation. Start over.
Oh no. Well, you're still welcome here. That looks pretty, a little more space, yeah. That looks good. Maybe a little tighter, maybe just a tiny bit. And let's see, yours. A little more space. So, I have arms that are this weird shape anyway. One of my yoga teachers from New York, where I went to the thing, she's like, oh, you have carrier arms. I'd never heard it called like that. She's like, yeah, it's like, for like carrying bags from the grocery store. Or like carrying a lot in life. I was like, oh yeah, that fits, that tracks. That sounds just about right. Okay, great. Once we get here, I'm going to invite just for you to come into relationship for a second with this strap. So find your breath and feel your feet. And then just gently move into, extend the arms into the strap and just see what happens up at the shoulders. See what happens in the breath. See what happens throughout the center line of the body as you do that. Does that create a deeper sense of presence or safety or awareness or ease? Or is it the opposite? And then we're going to take that up, and the shoulder blades should be happily on the back body. I love how adaptive you are. It's so wonderful. Nice. And using this gentle press into the strap and pressing into the feet, see what you feel here in terms of range of motion, ease, challenge. Is there an edge here? And bringing hands together, we're going to exhale and take this all the way through again. Hands onto the blocks. Wide fingers. And now we're going to do the same thing we did last time. So breathe, let something go in the head, and then inhale the heart space forward. Begin to press into the block, and this time as you're pressing into the block, you'll also expand into the strap and see if you can feel that lifting feeling from front body to back body, like your helium balloon being filled. And is it easier to access this way or harder? Is it easier for anyone?
Easier.
Easier? Is it harder for anyone? Not sure yet? That's okay. All right, let's let that go. Put a bend in the knees. Let go of the strap. And deep bend in the knees. And then just roll yourself up. Let's all roll. Okay, yeah. And maybe you really do need to give yourself those big shoulder rolls at this point. Okay. Let's come to the front of our mats with our blocks. Find your feet, feel your breath. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold through center line. Hands onto blocks. Inhale, heart space forward. And keeping hands on blocks, step yourself back to a downward facing dog. So this is a little different, right? Super weird. I love it. It's super weird. So we're at an edge of weirdness here. This is foreign territory. See if you can press, especially the index finger mound, into the block. Find that gripping with the finger pads. Put a little bend in the knee. Take the hips high.
My hands are slipping like crazy.
Are they?
Try putting my
Okay.
hands on top of them.
Yeah. Walk left foot to center and lift right foot towards sky. Press through hands. Get long and then exhale that foot between the hands and the blocks. And find your breath. Find a gentle draw of legs towards midline as you lift up and into a high lunge. The back leg is lifting. Fill the back body. Side bodies lift. Shoulder blades float up and onto the back body. Find center line, hug to midline. Press through feet and reach. That's extension, organic extension. And just bring a little awareness to the back of the neck and head. And see if you could easily turn your head right now. You want that to be sweet and loose. Staying in the breath. Making a moment of conscious contact with your courageous heart. And all of the edges you experience in different ways throughout a single day, if not moment. And exhaling, bringing hands back to the block. Step it back to plank position. Pressing the blocks away. Feeling the spread of the collarbones. And then knees come down or just coming right on down. Hands stay on blocks here. This is a little weird. So the heart's going to come in between the blocks. Okay, there it is. Okay, good. Yeah, let's bring, instead of having the elbows sort of splay, let's draw the elbows towards the midline. Good, and then inhaling, shoulders up and towards ears, feeling the front of the thighs in contact with the mat, front of the feet, drawing tailbone towards feet. Just playing here with what lift is possible in the heart, letting the heart and the lower back do the work. Drawing the elbows together like we did when we interlaced our fingers behind the back. Tuck toes under, press into the blocks, come up into plank position, and then back into downward facing dog. Finding especially the index finger mound, but with flat hands, the finger pads get active, like you're crunching. On the inhale, walk the right foot to the center of the mat, lift left leg high. Press through the hands, widen the collarbones. Exhale that foot between the hands and the blocks. Come into breath. Remember, you are the lilac. And then draw legs in towards center. Come on up and into your expression of high lunge. Finding the breath, remembering the back leg lifts towards sky. Gentle draw of legs to midline, and from the pelvis, courageously press through both feet and reach through the fingers. Heart lifts. Yeah. And make some micro movements here to find what is your edge in this shape, in this moment. You may need to back it off a little bit to find that, to find something that really moves and extends organically. Instead of forcing an extension, how can that extension come from within? Beautiful. And as we exhale, we'll take our hands back to those weird blocks and step it back to plank position. Take a moment to have one full round of breath. And then guess what? Down we go. One more time. Let yourself arrive. Find the breath. Tack the toes. Find the thighs. Inhale, floating shoulders towards ears onto back. Elbows gently moving towards midline as the heart explores courageously. What does it mean to lift here with my hands in this weirdness? Yeah. Can the breath stay steady here? When the breath starts to get stuck, we know we've gone too far in some direction. We need to back it out. Tuck the toes under, press into the hands. Come through Chaturangasana, up and into plank. And then back into your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale between the hands. Walk the feet forward. And with hands on blocks, just for a moment, wide fingers, bring the shoulder blades the shoulders right above the wrist creases, press into hands and feel that helium balloon-like thing. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And on the inhalation, let that go. Deep bend in the knees, reach up. Utkatasana. Let's do another lion's breath. Press in the feet, reach. Good, and then exhale right through center line. I'm gonna go right back in again. Another deep dive. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. If having the hands on the blocks just feels like too far out of your comfort zone, then you can let that go, right? We're just having an experience here, and you feel free to say no. Good. Inhale, left foot to center, right foot high. Pressing through hands, getting long, 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 finding some extension here, and then exhale that foot between the hands. Ground the back knee down. Reach up. And even here, back it off a little bit and see, after you draw legs in towards midline and you press through the front foot just enough, what wants to reach here? What wants to expand, extend, take up space? Nice. Inhale your way out. We'll take both blocks to the inside of the front foot. Maybe turning front foot to a 45-degree angle and walking it towards the outside of the mat. Walking the blocks forward any amount, but maintaining integrity here in the pelvic region by drawing gently in towards midline. And then finding the reach for this gecko. On the inhalation, walk it back. We're going to take it right into Ardha Hanumanasana with hands on blocks, perhaps on high. Take your time. There's no need to force an opening by pressing the knee straight. You discover what is right for right now. Active toes. And if and where there's sensation, just bring awareness to it and bring your breath there. That's a classic yoga subtle body move, is to bring your breath to sensation. And people who are in their rational mind are like, how can you breathe into sensation? Well, because it's a subtle body move. It's not a rational body move. Okay. Drawing heart space forward. Feeling the breath, maybe just being the breath for a moment. Great. On your next inhale, we're going to take this into a weird twist by taking the right hand to the right hip. Feeling the draw of the foot up and into the pelvis and pressing back out. Both sides of the body lengthen. Left side body moves towards right. Pressing through both feet and the knee. Finding length through the crown. Feeling your length. If you want to lift an arm, sure. Go for it. If you like having your hand right where it is, go for it. I like my hand right there on the hip right now. Oh. And then draw the top of the ears gently back. Breath is easy and full. And inhale your way out. Do, 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 do. Blocks come back down if you're still playing this way in your practice. Cool. Hands onto blocks. Tucking the toes under. Come on into your downward facing dog. Yeah. Putting a bend in the knees to find length in the spine, the sides of the body. Drawing from hands up and into shoulders and the heart. Widening collarbones and pressing back out again. Taking right foot to center. Inhale, left leg high. And then exhale that foot between the hands and the block. Ground the back knee down. Reach up. Explore your edge courageously. Where's my edge here right now? Yeah, maybe it's just softening, or maybe it's moving towards something, knowing when is it time to back off and be still or find stillness, and when's it time to move forward. If you don't feel like you're at choice about that, chances are you're not free in that moment. And as you exhale, we'll take both hands to the blocks. Walk to the inside, maybe walking left foot towards the outside of the mat and turning it. Finding that center line hug for stability as you explore some extension. We extend from a place of stability. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll inhale the blocks back, taking the blocks perhaps to high, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana shape. Finding the breath. Softening something in the face, and then feeling the draw of energy from the foot up and into the hip socket, and then press back out on the gas, finding just the right amount of knee bend or straighten, and the heart draws forward. And then play with gently drawing the ears back. Feeling your own courageous expansion. And now keeping this, we're going to take the weight into the right hand. Left hand comes to left hip. Draw to midline. Long side bodies as the right side body turns towards the left. Top of the ears go back. Maybe the left hand lifts. Again, experimenting with, what if I back this off? Could I come into this more organically as opposed to forcing a shape? And then inhale your way into a release of that. Bring the blocks back down. Take the foot back, press into the blocks, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. One last time. Good. And then looking between the hands, we're going to walk or jump our feet forward. Good. With hands on blocks, in that same kind of way we've been doing, gentle press into the blocks to draw the helium balloon up, taking weight into the left foot, lifting right foot up behind you. Keeping a fullness in that back body as the helium draws you up, 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 making you lighter and lighter and lighter. And then exhale that down. Take weight out of the hands for a second. Take it right back into the feet. Maybe a little bounce, a little letting something go in the head. And then here we go again. Gently pressing into hands, weight into right foot. Feeling the helium balloon lifts the left leg up and behind you. And exhale it down. Put a deep bend in the knees. Let the hands go. Woo! And roll yourself up. Press through feet. Reach to sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay. We're going to go into an inversion. Go upside down. For many of us, that feels uncomfortable. It's an edge, right? So I'm going to invite you to work at the level that really works for you today, right now. And in a second, I'm going to invite everybody to find a spot against the wall. But first, I just want to do a brief introduction. So my mat is at the wall, and I'm going to use the wall for this. Is anybody already feeling like... No? Great. Anyone? Just a tiny bit? Like a little... All right. I'm going to come into a short dog here at the wall. So here's my hands again, nice and wide like we've been practicing all morning long. Here's my little short dog. Now, maybe I'll have a little bit longer short dog. There it is. Okay. So I'm drawing energy up and into shoulders, and here's that widening of the collarbone. See the upper arms rotating out and widening? Do you see it? Okay, so this is where a lot of us hang out. What I'm going to do is bring this in. Then I'm going to take one foot up the wall. And I might just hang out right here in this split and just sort of play with bringing my shoulders over the wrist creases. And maybe I'm going to take a little weight out of this foot. And then I might feel that helium thing. We're not taking, well, you could take this foot up high. This not so much, okay? Here, but more like here. Playing with that, coming down. Feeling how that just our perception shifts radically when we move upside down. Because most of the time, we're looking at the world this way. So we go upside down, we're looking at the world that way. It's like, where am I in space? Letting the hands come out and then trying the other side. Okay? So we'll do that much. So find a spot, and I will guide you. Wonderful. So first things first, we're going to take a short dog, and you can get into your short dog from being down here or from standing in a forward fold. Finding your, actually, let's all come to hands and knees. That's the way to get in. I couldn't think of it, but this is what it is. Hands and knees, nice and wide in the fingers, hands a little wider than shoulder width apart. Feeling your feet at the wall, come into your short dog. Wonderful. And then from hands, drawing it up the lines of the arms, widening the collarbones, upper arms rotating out. We'll take, everybody take the right foot, toes to the wall, take it up, take it up, take it up into split, and then the shoulders come over the wrist creases and the left foot maybe lifts off the ground. Feeling that helium balloon concept in the body as the back body gets light. Maybe the left foot comes towards sky. Or it hangs. And just play. Play, play, play. But I really want you to have that feeling of the helium balloon that we had throughout our practice. Fill the back body there, Sarah. Fill right in the kidneys. See if you can fill the kidneys. Kidneys get, plump those kidneys. And then come down, take a break if you need it, and switch your sides. Yeah, nice, a little child's pose in between. Seems like a very nice way to transition. I'll do that with you. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Shavasana is coming. It takes a lot of courage to do something in a new way. Okay, so if you're ready, hands and knees, wide fingers, pressing into the hands to lift the hips up, short dog. Energy from hands up and into shoulders, widening collarbones, left toes come up into a split, and then begin to play with the helium balloon, lifting, 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 being light, 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 scrunching finger pads to support you in the hands. Maybe that foot goes to sky. Fill the back body, kidneys, play here. Come down and out when you're ready. Good, and then I'll invite you all to join me back on the mat for a couple seated postures. Nice work, everyone. Did that feel hard today?
Yeah, kind of hard on the arms.
Hard on the arms? Yeah. I did this whole practice before y'all came, so my hands and wrists are all kind of like, that was kind of a lot for a morning. There it is. All right, bring your blocks with you. And maybe you're going to want to sit up on your bolster for this. Let's all start with our feet touching and our knees opening. And yes, you're going to want to sit on your bolster to support the natural curves of the back. If sitting flat on the floor means that your body does this. So we don't want this. We want to be able to do this. And raising the hips helps with that. Excellent. Everybody knows. Y'all know what to do. It's good stuff. Let's just take a moment. Let the breath settle again. Yeah. Let the skin of the face feel gravity. And just take a moment to tune into your courageous heart. The courage of a lilac blossom to fully express itself. Good. And from here we're going to come into Janu Shirshasana. And if you're enjoying where you are, stay as long as you like. Otherwise, we'll take the right foot out. No need for blocks for this moment. And finding breath, feeling your sits bones. And we'll take hands to either side of the leg and pause. Activate the toes, maybe of even both feet. Feel free to walk yourself forward. Maybe right hand reaches to, or left hand reaches to the outside of the leg. Maybe. Or the foot or toes. Oh, and if that's the case, feel the length in that left side body. Feel the length between the left armpit and the left hip crease. This is one of my favorite yoga stretches. And as we inhale, we're going to come at it in a different way. So we're going to take your right arm to the inside of the leg, create a little bit of a resistance, a little bit of a boundary. You can use your block if you need to, or you can get it right on in here. And then the left hand comes to the left hip. And feeling that boundary right here, see if the heart can open towards sky with length in both sides of the body. So if there's a collapsing happening on the right side, which it would make sense if it were, let's see if you can lengthen that space on the right side of the body as the heart moves towards sky. Good. And inhale your way out. Beautiful, everyone. We'll take both feet back together in the center line just for a moment. And find that breath again and let the skin of the face feel gravity. We're cooling down. Let's take the other side. So we'll take that other leg out. Feel free to shift yourself if the wall is in your way. Okay, great. You guys are doing a great job of working together here. Active toes of both feet. Feeling your rootedness in the sits bones, finding length, both sides of the body, walking fingers forward any amount or none at all. Maybe your right hand reaches to the outside of the leg or even to the outside of the foot, walking both hands forward if that's the case. Breathing steady, finding length in both sides of the body. And softening the lines of the forehead here. And when you're ready, you can inhale. We're going to switch it. So we'll take that left arm to the inside of the leg. Create a boundary. And taking your right hand to the right hip, pause and breathe for the boundary. Feel the support and stability that boundary offers, and extend from there courageously as the heart lifts. Nice, keeping length in both sides of the body, especially that left side. What? Yep. See if you can. And something in the jaw just softened. Good. And inhale your way. Unwind yourself. And one last time, we'll take our feet together. And letting again the skin of the face feel gravity. Letting the jowls get really big. The outer skin soft, plump. Breathing. And using your hands underneath the knees, we'll use those to bring the knees together. I invite you to find your way to your back for Shavasana if you like, or if you want to sit in meditation. So you choose what's going to feel good to you right now, what's most supportive, and I'll meet you there. To be alive, not just the carcass, but the spark. That's crudely put, but if we're not supposed to dance, why all this music? To be alive.